You know, what I love about stencils is that they are so versatile, and I happen to love products that give me lots and lots of options, and we have 2 brand new stencils for you.
We do. We have a beautiful Flutterby butterfly
Say
stencil.
that 3 times fast.
And a highly useful greeting stencil.
And the design team has done a wonderful job. Well, we'll just show you that. Come play with us. Well, here are the 2 stamps, and as Gail said,
Flutterby butterflies
and
greetings.
So you can see this wonderful group.
Isn't it beautiful?
Boy, wait till you see what we've done.
Fluttering by.
Yes, and then the greetings. So as you can see, hello, thanks, happy, hi, happy, and then happy birthday. So it could be happy Mother's Day, it could be happy Valentine's Day.
Best wishes or happy wishes.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So we've validated all of that. On the back, because we are hot off the press, and that's where these are from, you have ideas, 2 ideas on each one.
And you're going to see all of those here today.
Good. Okay. These are 6 by 6. They are opaque, but you can see through them, as you can see. So when you're positioning them, that's going to work perfectly.
Right.
Nice and sturdy. And okay, let's get into projects, right?
Let's do that. And I'm going to take this one.
Well, I will bring this one in, and look at this lovely one. And you can see that these are sparkly. And they're multiple colors, which I think is really interesting.
And they get that sparkle from the Cosmic Shimmer Sparkle Texture Paste. 2 different colors. This one is Lavender Mist, and this one is Egyptian Blue.
Wow.
Absolutely beautiful.
Okay, but how do you get multiple colors on each of these little puppies?
Well, I'll show you. I'm bringing in my craft sheet, and first of all, we want to mention that that is the Picket Fence.
Right, brand new paper collection.
Right, paper pack. So here is an actual, like a whitewashed picket fence in the background. I've got my Flutterby butterfly stencil here.
Isn't it interesting how you always have to say that?
It's difficult to say. Flutterby butterflies, Flutterby butterflies. There we go. So I've got that right there on the paper, and the paper is actually going to be a 5" by 6.5" inch, but I just made this easy to tape down. You can always cut it later after it's been dried.
Easier to start with a larger one and then trim it, right?
It is much easier that way.
Now, do you want stencil tape, or are you just winging this?
I'm not going to use the stencil tape because we're just going to wing this. We're going to wing it.
Oh, dear.
Get it? Okay, I think I'll start with the blue.
Good.
Get some of that out. And
you're using a palette knife. Now, you're using the back side of the palette knife.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have to.
Oh, okay.
You have to. If you try to do it this way, it's not going to be flat on your paper. That's why it's made just like that.
Interesting.
To spread. That's how it's created.
Okey-doke.
Okay, and I'm going to start just sort of on one side of those openings. I wonder if you can see that I'm skirting along just the right edge all the way down. The openings are here on the little, let's see, I'm trying to think of the terminology for this little swirl shape or whatever that I'm following, only on those edges. Okay, so I only want to get like part of the butterflies. That's what I'm trying to, the point I'm trying to get across, and I'm really pushing it down and just swiping across the top of that stencil. I think, there we go. I'm going to wipe that blue off because I don't want to contaminate the other jar with the blue. And then I get that lavender, absolutely beautiful. We've used this a lot in tech.
It goes a long way, and
it does. We've had it for quite a while.
Yeah, these are, you know, they're not $5. They're not cheap, but they do go a long way, which is nice, and they give just such a wonderful look.
Absolutely beautiful.
And pretty
results.
easily.
So now I'm going along the left side. Now it's okay to let that combine in the middle, sort of blended in the middle.
In fact, you sort of want that, don't you?
Right. And skirt it along the left side.
And I'm not sure if you can hear, but go ahead and swipe.
There.
You can hear that scraping, but what Gail is doing is having the palette knife right against the plastic of the stencil.
Right. So once I've done it with both of those colors, I'm going to lift this and see if I've got enough coverage. I should.
Wow.
Ta-da!
Boy.
Really simple to do. I love where they blend in the middle and sort of
Yes.
create that a darker purple.
I really like that over there too. And of course this one little stray gets blue and that other little stray gets purple. So that's nice. And then there's one guy who's going off that way. But aren't just really such a pretty design.
It is. It's gorgeous. But I also like the stamping that was done on this card.
And that was done with the new thank you stamp. So we have, and I like how it's been double stamped, so merci and then thanks so much right over the top of it.
Right.
That too has been blended, and that's nice. It was blended on the butterflies and the stamping has been blended, and this is the thank you stamp.
Right. So two
just look at all of them.
Two fluid chalk inks were used there, and really you can do that straight from the pad, or you can use cosmetic sponges or even art daubers.
The art daubers. Now the art daubers come 6 to a package, and here's one outside the package, and it just goes onto your finger, so you just tap, 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 tap. Put it onto your stamp and then stamp it so that you can do this blending really, really easily.
It is fun.
And
so they were done separately. First the merci and then the thanks so much right on top of it.
Right.
Nice
so,
look.
and this is using lavender and blue lagoon. Not sure if I said that. So that is one way.
Beautiful.
And this one has, and I like this. I think this is really nice. So just the tip of the stencil was used here with the inks again. And
so
you
I
want to
can
bring
get
that
another
up?
one. Yeah. So just the top of it. You're going to mask off. Let's see. Do we mask off areas? It looks like you just want to make sure you don't hit that small butterfly.
So put a Post-it over it.
Right, and just do that portion of it. Ink through with those two inks, and then stamping again using both of those inks on there.
Right, and that thank you for being such a dear friend is one stamp, so you don't have to put anything together to do that.
Right.
And just do your inking. So I like the combination of the blended colors, not only with the texture paste, the sparkle texture paste, but also in the stamping and doing it on the inside. Now this is kind of unusual for us because normally we put paper on the inside because you know, like we're paper folks. So just having the stamping is really kind of neat.
And quick and easy.
Quick and easy, yes, you're right. Okay, so that's one. Now, would you like a very, very different look?
Let's do that.
Look at this.
Oh my goodness.
So our Flutterby butterfly, see I can say it too, is here. Now this time it is with the Mega Flakes. Gilding flakes would also work, but isn't that gorgeous?
Absolutely beautiful. And what's great about the Mega Flakes and the Gilding Flakes, yes, they are lots of different colors.
Yeah.
You can get lots of different combinations of colors.
This is chocolate box, and let me turn it over so you can see it's got gold, it's got copper, there's green.
There are some browns in there, so a nice mix of colors. So you get a little, when you look at the butterflies, you get a little pop of color every once in a while, a pop of gold, and then you've got the reds and the browns, the oranges. So that's really fun. Or you could have done that with some of the silver combinations and got much more of a silver look.
So there are quite a few of these collections, and there's going to be more.
And flitter glue was used with that.
Of
and
course.
Lene actually used those art daubers to apply the flitter glue through the stencil. So that's fun. It's really easy just to put the flitter glue through the stencil so the stencil would be in place.
So you would squeeze out the flitter glue, maybe on your craft sheet, get a little bit on your dabber or your cosmetic sponge, and then just start dabbing it through the stencil.
The flitter glue, then remove the stencil
and actually put it in water just because.
Immediately,
yes. And then rub on your flakes.
Right. Put your flakes on there, push them on with your fingers, and then rub them off with a cosmetic sponge.
Right.
Done.
The only reason why Gail isn't demonstrating that is because we've done it so many times.
Many times.
There's videos. We have videos.
You can look up the Webisodes on Mega Flakes, on Gilding Flakes, and you'll see that done many times over.
And what has been added, which of course I always appreciate, is the copper border dazzles down at the bottom.
That's great.
At the bottom and at the top, a nice finish. So you could use really any of them.
And the inside out greeting dazzles,
Okay.
inside-outside greetings dazzles. So
So
you've got
sending
something
warmth?
for the front, you've got something for the
Yeah.
inside with those.
So such a different look, just such a
Great.
really, really different look. So that's fun. Now, how about another look?
An even more different look.
An even more different look. Now this is really very neat.
That is just incredibly beautiful.
Let's get in close so you can see, because right now I don't think you're seeing that these can lift up. In fact, all through this,
Isn't that beautiful?
these
Vellum.
have, yes, vellum.
This is done on
Wow.
vellum. This is inked onto vellum and then cut, and I'm going to show you a little bit of each of those in just a
Wow.
moment. But I also like that this stencil has been combined with the greeting stencil.
Right, that hello comes from the greeting stencil, which is really, this is going to be highly useful, as you said,
sure.
because you can finish off your cards all with stencils. But look at that. Okay, you're going to show us.
Okay, so I've got vellum, I've got the stencil that I'm going to set on top of the vellum, just like
Okay.
so. And then I'm going to, let's see, I want to make sure it fits on there just so. I've got the mini Distress ink set #1.
Okay.
It's got these nice bright colors, and I have 3 cosmetic wedges. Only 3 of these colors were used.
Okay.
It says, I'm not totally sold on that one
I think
yet.
they're
I think
all
maybe they
used.
were all used. So
I think they're all used.
I probably misread it. So here's the pink, the picked raspberry, and you're just going to start going through that stencil.
You just keep flying without stencil tape, don't you?
Yeah. It's only when I'm in a hurry. Believe me, when I'm sitting at my desk, I use stencil tape.
Okay.
It's just that I like to get this done quickly for you. So there's some of the pink. I'm going to get out that teal color, which is called Peacock Feathers, a new sponge. And
again, you
sponge
could be
that
using the
through.
art daubers.
You could be
Yep.
using the art daubers, or you can just use this, and you can combine them where they cross. So you've got the pink, you've got that beautiful blue, or
So I bet that's going to
teal.
make kind of a purpley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'll add the yellow next. Could you open that? I have
Certainly, I can
one-handed
do
here.
something here.
Add some of that beautiful yellow, and that's going to add a green aspect when it's blended with that one. And then we'll add, I'm going to use the back of this one.
Spiced marmalade.
I love the names of these.
They did a good job.
These are the Tim Holtz Distress inks.
Which is
and
why they use the same names on everything they do.
right.
Because they came up with the first set and it works well.
Just absolutely beautiful. Let's add just a little bit more pink because it's going to be so pretty, and then I'll stop.
Well, and then okay. So keep going. No, that's all right.
All right. Well, I'm going to end with that. You're going to let me end with that. Then I'm going to pick that up.
Wow.
And take a look at that.
Okay, here
So
we go.
Beautiful. It looks a lot better when it's on. Here, let me
It does,
put
against the
over
white, yes.
Yeah, it really pops. But the next thing I'm going to do, and it doesn't take long for those to dry. Let them dry just a little bit. I've got a cutting mat, and I'm going to keep that vellum piece. I have a retractable pen knife. You know how long it took me to get that name right on
I know,
that?
it took a little while, didn't it?
But I've got it now.
In fact, we had to change the search engine so it would just say pen knife as well as retractable pen knife.
So does that mean that I wasn't the only one?
You weren't the only one. In fact,
Okay.
yes, 2 of the ladies who came to Girlfriend's Getaway talked to me about it, and so we fixed it.
Okay.
Hi, Jill.
We listen. We definitely listen. And then Susan actually came up with this card, which is not surprising at all because
Right.
it's so interesting. And then came around the edges of those butterflies with that cutting mat below. I'm going around just the wings on just the larger butterflies, and then you can lift them.
Okay, let's get in close to see that. So you did your cutting.
So I did my cutting just around those large wings, and then you're just going to lift them like so.
Right.
And what a beautiful effect.
Well, let's just bring it in here.
Let's
Now,
look at
as
the
you
card.
said, it looks beautiful on white, but I really like it on the dot. I think it's just quite stunning. So this lifts. it's just kind of an extra surprise. And this one lifts. So the larger ones, of course, because you're not going to be cutting that vellum on those tiny little ones.
And I love those jewel dazzles on the centers of them. They're just beautiful.
Don't they do a nice job? So this is going to lift, and because it's vellum, you can really push those and let it lift even more. And even when it goes into an envelope, if you've done the folding like I just did, they will still pop up. So it's just really, really fun.
Don't forget, you can also add that greeting greeting stencil. So after you're done with the butterflies, place the greetings stencil right there and use a couple of colors for that hello.
Right, it's just gorgeous. Now,
it's pretty on the inside too.
Well, we'll just find out. Well, there we go. Wow, best wishes. And all three of these butterflies have their wings cut out, and so you can just position them.
So yes, you want to just position them, and you're going to, let me put this over the grid, you're going to use stencil tape or post-it notes to mask off around those larger butterflies, just so you can get those butterflies when you add them to this part, to the inside.
And the silver jewel dazzles were added, as well as the silver border dazzles. So those two have been added. So you've got a complete coordinated effort, and those are our best wishes.
Best wishes, that's great. And those are the colorist papers, so you've got those that nice pink paper for a background with that, as well as that dot paper.
And we are finding that colorist being so useful.
And it's because of those colors that go with it, I think it makes it easy to combine it with other things.
Yeah, and we're just finding lots of uses for the black and white.
Right.
Okay, I have yet one more. Wow, look at this. So this is fun, and you're bringing out some goodies.
Some supplies. So I'm going to have to use some of these stencils over, so I hope you don't mind when you see them. They're going to get a little messy.
This is going to begin with the black, glossy black embossing paste. So you can really see that. And as we get in a little bit closer and I wiggle this, you can see the shine of the black.
The glossy black paste, but you're also seeing some beautiful glitter, and that's from the Nouveau Pure Sheen glitter. Here's the container. It's a nice big large container.
With the jewel on top.
It does, isn't that beautiful?
And what color is that?
This one is,
I'm sorry.
You'll have to see the, let me see, just a moment. There we go, it's turquoise. Shouldn't it be obvious? That is the turquoise.
Turquoise teal, right. And what's been done is the stencil has been turned over.
Right.
And the large butterfly has been done a second time individually to go clear at the top. So that's fun.
And cut out. So it was done individually and cut out for an extra accent. But this way, go ahead.
Oh, and like the last stamp, the
Stencil,
last card that had hello, this has hi from our greetings, and so you can do them on both sides. So there you go.
I love combining them. I love it
too.
And what's great about the greeting stamp is that you can combine it with pretty much any stencil.
Yes. Oh, this is Floral Fantasy.
Floral Fantasy.
Perfect.
Do you see those beautiful clouds there? And then here's the butterfly. I loved the color combination on this one. I'm just going to set that in place. Normally I would mask this off wherever I'm going to be using it, but in this case, let's see, just about there. Okay. And I've got my glossy black embossing paste, and I'm going to get this out of here. Let's see if I'll get enough. Like I said, we do use quite a bit of this. So,
as you can see.
Yeah, so okay, there we go. Got a nice big, put that away, and I'll get that loaded up. I like to make sure that it's loaded up all the way across my mini squeegee.
It's a good way to do it.
Right, to get it all picked up, and I sort of make it an even swipe on there. Okay, I think I'll start with the bottom, and so that you can see it go across this way. I'm going to turn that corner and drag it all the way up, hopefully to the top. If I need more, I can pick this up and move it over here.
And again, you want to scrape it so that you see the stencil, that you're not letting it all be camouflaged by the paste.
Right, you don't want it too thick. That's
don't.
the point of it. Okay, I think I've got it all over, and then I pick this up.
Wow, look how striking that is, just the
Isn't
black
that beautiful?
going. And here's an example of, boy, where that paper really creates such a drama behind the stencil.
Now that is beautiful,
yes,
just as it is, okay, but now we're going to add a little more drama with this glitter. And I have, she said just to place a little bit of glitter, sprinkle it on the center. I'm going to show you kind of a way to do this. I don't want to do it directly. I don't want to sprinkle it directly from here because a lot of it
can come
control
out.
It,
yeah.
So I'm going to put a little bit of it right into the cap.
Oh, good
and
idea.
Use that and sprinkle that. I'll start right in the center, and we're doing this while the embossing paste is still wet.
Do you want paper underneath you?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh,
really?
I see what you mean.
I think
for
you do.
After, you're right.
Yeah, for after.
I'm looking at the card too at the same time, and
let me just
you mean
slip that.
Yeah,
part. Just so that you don't dump it out on the.
And then I'll get it a little bit over here. I'm looking at her card to see where she put it a little bit up here. So just a little bit of highlights. And then I'm going to sprinkle that off, and I think I'll just turn it straight over like that and see what that looks like. Ta-da!
Wow. Okay, look at that.
So just really beautiful.
Well,
I would wait for that to dry before I chose the next stencil, the greeting stencil, and did the high separately.
Good idea. Yeah, you don't want to do it on top of it.
Right.
So nice to know you can turn it over. I mean, it seems like a simple thing, but it would be easy to forget.
Right.
Now, the paper right now is a little wiggly because of the moisture of the embossing paste, but when it dries, it's going to flatten out.
Exactly.
And just be perfect. So let me come back in with the finished card, and you can see how it was done. So the glitter went all over the high,
right.
And boy, it's
Isn't
really
that beautiful?
super fine, isn't
Yeah.
it? And then onto, this was done separately and cut out, as you said, this was done
Right.
onto the
another one of the pattern papers.
And then on the inside, a great big sparkly thanks.
Right, which was done right over the black embossing paste so that it covers it up entirely for that one.
You know, and that's really nice to know that that glitter is, of course, opaque. I don't know that I would have assumed that, but it does cover the black. The black kind of gives us a richness, I'm thinking.
Right.
And then we have yet another butterfly down here done individually. And so that finishes this card, and that is the end of our Flutter by
Butterfly stencil.
So now we're going to move just into the greetings and give that a little extra time. And look at this.
Just beautiful.
How pretty is that?
New paperback. This
Yes.
is the Bohemian Dreams paper pack.
Right, and the best wishes obviously is coming from our greeting stencil, as you can see.
So we've got best wishes on there. I'll tell you a little bit about that process in just a moment. But the
Nice
papers,
big words too. I
Right.
mean, enough to make a really nice statement. This is using, as we said, Bohemian Dreams paper. It's also using Bohemian Dreams foiled paper toll.
So
So
those
you
are
can
the
see.
accents that you're seeing around there. So here's something that you're thinking, when you've got this stencil, you can add other focals with it, and
Yes.
this can just be your greeting, or you can make the greeting the focal.
Yeah, either way.
Right. With this one, it was done with sticky embossing powder was laid down onto Versamark on that black cardstock, and then the mica powders were used. And this is Kimono Red, the Metallic Effects mica powders.
And this is from Dreamweaver, which is now owned by Stampendous.
All right.
And look at that. It's called Kimono Red. And isn't that just a really pretty color?
It is.
Very
It's
nice.
just beautiful.
Okay.
So I've got that stencil. What you want to do is you want to isolate whatever words you're going to use on that stencil, because you do have 5 different greetings on there. You can use them in different combinations. So I've got stencil tape covering these up. I'll put that, I'll probably, since that's going to be a long banner shape, I'll probably put that right on the bottom of my black cardstock. If I needed it somewhere in the middle, I could take sticky notes and do that.
And kind of do it
okay,
that
all the
way.
way across. In this case, I don't need to. I've got my Versamark. I'm going to place it right on the bottom. Let me get it to where you can see it. On the bottom of my cardstock. And I want to make sure that there's room on the right for, I remember there's a little V cut
there
at
is.
the end
Okay.
on the right. I'm trying to line it up here with the bottom. In this case, boy, I sure would tape that down to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. No, I'm going to do it quick. You watch how quick. I don't even need it.
Wait, I want to get you stencil tape.
Oh, she does. She wants to. I could just hold it.
I know you can, but
All
you
right.
know.
So we're going to do it the right way.
Yeah, well, just for this moment.
Okay, one there and one over there, and we are
Oh, sorry.
almost
then
good
I
to
blow
go.
it.
No,
huh?
no,
Okay.
that's okay. It's because I made you rush. It's my fault. So there it is. Here's the Versamark. Direct through those words, I am adding Versamark. Up and down. Don't go back and forth or it'll go underneath on that stencil. Make sure that I'm covering the word entirely. I don't want to miss any parts. There we go. So once the Versamark is on there, then I am going to remove the stencil because I need to add something here. And I've got paper here.
You can see that it's all covered. Whoops, a little bit of the bee. No, I guess that's how the bee is. Okay.
Is it? Did I miss part of it?
Just a little bit, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Apparently I did. I totally missed it. So before you remove your stencil, check it. Take a good look at it and make sure you've got that shininess.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Well, that's a good
my motto.
Tip. Sometimes we show mistakes just to show you how not to do it.
That's the only reason why we would do that.
That's why I did it. So here's
I believe you, Gail.
Here's the sticky embossing powder. This stuff is great because once you heat it, after you heat it, it stays tacky basically, so it will hold other mediums on there. I'm going to flick it a little bit to get the extra off. In fact, it's kind of nice to do that from behind.
Okay.
And if you have anything in there that you don't want around those words, you can also use a small brush. I got kind of a big one here, but you can use a small brush to remove some of that, and then you'll have that word, the best wishes.
Got what you want?
Sure, that works great. I'm going to need that one in a second, but okay. And we'll remove that part too, if you're seeing that. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now I'm going to heat it, and I've got this great new heat tool that we're using a lot in tech right now. It's called the Heat It craft tool. What's nice about this is, number one, I can talk while it's going because it's not loud.
It's quiet.
It is quiet. Also, it doesn't blow a lot. So a lot of the finishes that we use, they sit on the top and we end up having to heat from underneath. And what I like about this is that you don't really have to heat from underneath. You can heat from the top because it doesn't blow it around. It's not a really hot, it doesn't blow a lot, it just heats.
Amazing, yeah.
It does. Okay, so that's all heated, and if we touch it, we can tell it's still kind of tacky. It's kind of like, it's a little bit like flitter glue in that way. And so now I've got the mica powders, the kimono red mica powders, and I'm going to use a brush to apply that. Just get a little bit of it on that brush, just like so.
I love this color. It's kind of a red copper.
Right, and you just pounce it on there, and it gets right onto that sticky embossing powder, and it stays on there. So absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to do part of it right now so we can get this part done. And then you want to brush off the excess. You can tap it off a little bit to get most of it off, and then if you use a clean brush, it helps to get the extra off of there, off of that black in the background. If that doesn't get it off completely, that one's kind of a...
Here, let me give you a softer brush.
There we go. That should get off quite a bit of it. And Susan says a little trick that she likes to use to get any excess off of the background is a white eraser. And she says that should pick up.
Oh, really?
And you can see it picking up from the black, and you can sort of, if you have a bigger eraser, it might be just to go around that, and it gets off the excess.
Oh, I see.
Anyway,
okay.
and when you're done.
Look at that. Just a beautiful, clean finish. Very, very nice. Now, you did mention that you can use this stencil as the message, and it's a really bold message, as we've seen, or it can become the focal of your card. And so here's an example of that.
So this has been used with glitter, actually, on top of, I think that was, oh no, that's the, let me grab it. That's the texture paste. That is the same one that was used before.
A happy? And a birthday, yes.
So the sparkle texture paste, the lavender, was used on the center there, but first it was inked through, so fluid chalk ink in the color that was used here. You can check the gallery for that. So for happy and birthday, and then that glitter, that sparkle texture paste for the center. I also love that the flowers were used. Those flowers come from the greetings stencil.
There that is.
Right. And just a little bit of, you can use white, a white
embossing powder?
Stays on, or an embossing powder, or you can use, I think maybe the glossy, oh, the words escape me, paste.
Oh, the white.
Glossy embossing
white,
paste
yeah.
may have been used here too. So here are the flowers up above, that's been inked. I love that design toolkit. This is from one of our newer design toolkits.
It
design
is
toolkit
number 11. Still in the same purples, isn't it?
Right.
So you've got
decorative card flaps, and that's
lots of
certainly
uses.
What's been done with this card. And then when you open it,
yeah, very sweet.
Ink through again for the inside.
This was done on the picket fence paper,
Right.
and I do like that you can take that little flower and use it complete. You can add another blossom, or you can just do the blossoms individually. So that gives lots of opportunity.
It does.
And I have one more.
Okay.
So here we have Happy Birthday that is resting on a field of flowers.
Yes. So those flowers were used individually all over that background, and then in the foreground you've got these that were embossed, Versamarked, and then heat embossed
with the white embossing powder.
The background that you're seeing was done on watercolor paper, and it was done with the Gelatos, the pastel set. So I've got a set that has been broken
Here's
into.
one that's opened up. So this is really quite a wonderful set, 15 pieces, and you can see just the variety of colors that are in there. And in addition, it also has, let me see, looks like there's
a paintbrush in there, right, so that you can smooth those out.
Plus you've got the white and the black, and although this is called pastels, you do have the black one, which is nice.
It's actually a gray.
Oh, is it a gray?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
To go with those pastels,
Yeah.
the white goes with it. So in the background, I've actually already done something to this watercolor paper, but you can't see it yet. The little daisies, or whatever they are, the little flowers, have been embossed with white embossing powder all over that. See if I can
we can't
turn
see
it.
it.
You can sort of see some of the flowers. They were done all over. You want to mask them off separately and use Versamark through the stencil, and then heat emboss with
The heat tool.
with the heat tool. I was thinking the fine embossing powder, the white embossing powder.
Oh,
and then
the
you want
super
to
fine?
start just adding stripes. And I realize I probably used the wrong color
That's
right
okay.
off the bat.
This will
but
just
I
be a
think it'll
different
work.
different combo.
So you just start making stripes with those gelatos in the background. They're going all the way across. You might want to back out a little bit so we can see the stripes on there. There we go. So we've got a blue. I think I'll go with a green next. From the blue to a green. And this is a pretty typical gelatos technique that's super easy to accomplish, adding those different colors. I think I'll stop there.
Okay.
You still can't see those flowers yet, but I'm going to spritz that with a little bit of water, and then I'm just going to swipe from one side to the other, and now you can see the flowers. It blends the gelatos, and it makes it so that it takes the color off of the flowers a little bit, so you can see those flowers in the background.
As they magically appear.
Beautiful.
Right.
Fun
then
background.
on top of that, did the process with the Versamark and the white embossing powder, the superfine, and then colored pink behind it.
Right.
They cut them out. These are foam tape on top. You can kind of see that they're just resting on top of that field of flowers.
In fact, I do love the jewel dazzles on the centers of each one of those flowers.
That's working nicely, and these are the blue ones, I believe.
No, they're silver.
They're silver?
Isn't that funny? That it sort of
looks
picks
so blue.
up highlights like that, but those are
Wow.
definitely the silver jewel dazzles.
Very nice, and how clean that is also. So that, and then on the inside, if you want to do best wishes, you've got that option too. So we have things that work together, so that's nice for the greetings. So lots of choices, as I said. So we did, let's see, we did inks, you did
a texture embossing paste. There were mega flakes.
Right.
Done. We had glitter added, glossy
Gelatos.
embossing paste. Lots of different ways.
Somewhere we've lost the front. So this it really comes to you nice and
Here
clean.
we go. It does, and comes with something like this with the ideas. Remember, front and back.
So 2 brand new greetings, Flutter by Butterfly and greetings already.
Greetings, stencil and flutter. Yeah. So have fun.